Hi guys, welcome back to the JavaScript video series. This is the 8th video of the series, and then in this video we're going to look at how to work with comparison and logical operators. So in the last video we looked at conditional operators, and we saw how to create decision statements so that we can enable JavaScript to take decisions based on different conditions. And if we want to group those conditions together, that's where logical operators would come in. So let me give you an example. So let's say I want to write a code which checks if the value of a variable x is between 10 and 15, and then it checks if it's between 15 and 20. So if it's between 10 and 15, it needs to do something, and if it's between 15 and 20, it needs to do something, and or else if it's completely something else, it needs to do something else, right? So let me show you how to what I'm trying to say here is, let's say the value of x is 10 for now, right? So I want to write a code which says that if the value of x is between 10 and 15, right? So how will I do that? So I'll say x is greater than 10 and x is less than 15, right? So this is how I'll judge if the value of x is between 10 and 15. And then I'll say else if, you've seen this in the previous video, how to use else if. I'll say else if the value of x is greater than 15, right? And x is less than 20. And I want to do something else completely. So like, let's say I want just to say document.write the value of x is between 10 and 15. And here I want this to say document.write value of x is between 15 and 20. And if it's completely something else, I want this to say else document.write value of x is not between 10 and 20, right? The thing here is that and is not accepted in JavaScript. So if I run this code, nothing will happen because and is not a recognized keyword. So I need to use something called as a logical operator, which is ampersand, which basically represents and. So the value of x is not between 10 and 20 because it has to be greater than 10, right? So if we make it 11, you'll say the value of x is between 10 and 15 right now, because it is 11 is between 10 and 15. If I make it 16, you'll say it's between 15 and 20, right? And if I say again 21, then the last code will run value of x is not between 10 and 20. Does that make sense? And now you saw that if I write it here as 10, it'll say the value of x is not between 10 and 20. This might confuse some people. So if you want to check, by default, JavaScript does not equate this. It directly says greater than, means that it has to be greater than 10. But if I want to say greater than equal to, then I have to write here greater than equal to, and x is less than equal to. Right. So now it says that yes, x is between 10 and 15 because it is greater than equal to. If I make it 15, then it says the same thing between 10 and 15. You can do the same thing everywhere. You can say greater than equal to, greater than equal to. And if you make it 16 now, or 20, for example, let's say 15, 20. Now, if you saw that if I write 15 here, in two of my conditions, I'm comparing this with equal to 15. So x is 15 here also, x is 15 here also. But the first condition where this condition was met, because the code compiles sequentially. So in the first line, if it was met, it's not going to run this second line of code. It's not going to say that value of x is between 15 and 20 because already x is equal to 15 is met. So I hope you understand this. And anyways, this is a wrong way of writing because if I've covered the value of 15 here, I need to cover the value of 16 here. I can't cover the value of 15 here, right? Because otherwise there will be complete overlap, and that's a bad way of writing the code. So this is how basically conditional operators work for and. Now let's say if I want to say, if I want to check if x is equal to 10, okay, or x is equal to 15. Then I want to do something. I want to say value of x is 10 or 15. Okay, and else if x is equal to 16 or x is equal to 20, then I want this to say that value of x is either 16 or it's 20. Okay, and else I want to say that value is of x is not 10, 15, 16 and 20, right? So if I run this code, nothing will happen, because or, just like and, is not JavaScript is not expecting this. Basically, it's not an accepted JavaScript keyword. So instead of or, we have to write like this. This is basically the same as or. So I'll remove this also and I'll say or. So now if the value of x is equal to 15, to check this we'll have to write double equal to. So that was my mistake. And I won't edit these videos. I'll keep making mistakes and I'll publish these videos as they are, as the first cut, so that you come to know where I make those mistakes, so that you can avoid them and you can learn. So now I'll say value of x is either 10 or 15, because it is 15, right? If I say it's 20, it needs to say the value of x is either 16 or 20. So I hope you understand how and or works. Now let's see how not works. For not operators, let's say I want a particular code to run if the value of x is not 15, and otherwise a code will run for if the value of x is 15, right? So let's say I want to do that. So I'll say var x is equal to 15, and I'll say if the value of x equal to 15 and not equal to 15, then I will run something. Let's say I'll say win document dot write. I'll say value of x is not 15, and then the else condition, which will be satisfied if x is 15. We'll say document dot write value of x is 15. I have put two brackets here, x is equal to 15 inside a bracket, because I want to encapsulate that in not, right? And let's try running this code. It won't run because not, as expected, like as and or, is not an accepted JavaScript keyword. So let me try replacing this with a simple exclamation mark. Let's see what happens now. So it says the value of x is 15, because it is, the value of x is 15. But if I say out here 16, let's say the value of x is not 15, which is basically the first command has executed. I hope and, or, and not, all three are really clear. Now I want to show you something that can confuse you later on. So let me show it to you right now. And var x is equal to 2, and if y greater than x greater than y, say document dot write x is greater than y, else x is not, y is greater than x. Okay, so we need to check. We'll check x if x is greater than y. X is 16 and y is 2. Then it'll say x is greater than y, else it'll say y is greater than x, right? So what do you think the answer should be? The answer should obviously be the first one, right? The x is greater than y. But here something else is happening. It's saying y is greater than x. Why do you think that's the problem? The problem is that I've not taken 16 and 2 as numbers. I've taken them as strings. So I had put these double inverted commas around them, double quotations. and that's why it says y is greater than x, because if we compare these two strings, then according to ASCII code 2 is greater than 16. But if I compare them as numbers, if I remove these double quotes, then x is greater than y, which is 16 is greater than 2. So this is a big confusion. So you need to always be aware of what is the type, what is the data type of the variables that you're comparing. Otherwise, you'll always get the wrong answer, and you'll get bugs in your code that you won't be able to easily remove. So I hope this one is clear. I just showed you as an example of things where you could go wrong with these comparison operators. So this is a comparison operator, greater than, less than, equal to. The double equal to. Those are all comparison operators. So another thing that I want to show you is something called as a ternary operator. So ternary operator is basically if and else, but you can write it in a very small, compact kind of format. So let's say I'll say the value of x is 16. Okay, and I'll say where votable equal to x greater than 18. So what I'm trying to say here is that if x is greater than 18, then he can vote. Otherwise, he's too young. Or I'll just write here too young. He can't vote basically. And I'll print out document.write voteable. So if first let me try and run this command and show it to you, and then so it says too young because it's 16. And then if I say 20, then it should say can vote, right? So if I want to write the same code in your regular format, what I'll have to do something like this. If x is greater than 18, then say document.write can vote. Else you can say document.write too young. So I don't need this line anymore, right? So he can vote. But if I say 16 again, it says too young. So if I want to write in the traditional way, this is the way to write. But if I write in a modern kind of a way, then I can simply do this as well. Let me remove these comments. So this is exactly the same as this. So if x is greater than 18, then he can vote. This will run. So after the question mark is the condition that will be run if this is satisfied, and else this will be run if this condition is not satisfied. Then else part will run, like in this case, right? Too young. Then I'll write 20 here. Can vote. I hope that makes sense. This is slightly difficult to get used to in the beginning, but as you progress in your JavaScript career, you'll get it very easily. You'll be able to understand this. Just practice it a little bit, and then you'll be very comfortable with this. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If you're liking this series, then please subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.